तं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So, dear devotees, so we are just four devotees together here, and out of four devotees, three devotees they have showed up that they are really the personalists, right? And oh my God, no, no, only two devotees, and two devotees are hosting the flag of impersonalism still. So I like to request kindly set yourself in a position where we can stop this impersonalism and become the real follower of Srila Prabhupada. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshtarine. Yes, so kindly open up your videos, and meanwhile, sometime I will ask you to open up your uh, audio also. Hare Krishna. So we were discussing Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter, and we have completed till sloka 19. Yeah, if you remember. So we just completed three sections of Bhagavad Gita 9 chapter. So the first section that we saw that how Supreme Lord is going to tell about the most confidence and knowledge and qualifications and disqualifications of that to get that knowledge. What is the qualification that one has to become non-envious? Anusuyavaha. And also he should be Shraddhavan. He should be faithful. Right? A faithless person is someone who will not attend the Supreme Lord, and he will again come back into the cycle of repeated birth and death. And then we saw from text 4 to 10 how Lord Krishna is inconceivably related with material world. Krishna pervades, creates, relates the entire cosmos through material energy. Although Krishna, the supreme controller, material world nevertheless moves independently. Right? Krishna is controller, but material world is independently moving, just like we saw the example of what was the example? Sky and the air. So how air moves around in the sky independently as if there's no control, but it cannot go beyond the boundary of sky. It has to be under sky only. So sky is compared to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, and the air, the cloud, and everything is just this material world, material nature. So in text 11 to 19, we discussed how there are two kinds of people, non-worshippers of the Lord and worshippers of the Lord. So Lord compares the pure devotee of the Lord with impersonalists, demigod worshippers, and those who are those who are demigod worshippers. There are some Vishwarup worshippers. Then there are impersonal worshippers. The three kinds of people we saw. Those who do not come to worship Krishna, and then from text 20 till 28 onwards, we are going to discuss the comparison between worshippers of Krishna and worshippers of demigods. I mean to say demigod worshippers and devotees. So from text 20 onwards, we are proceeding ahead today. Okay. Are you able to see this, Prabhu? The screen? Hari Bol, Hari Krishna. Screen is visible. Is screen visible, Prabhu?
Yes, bro.
Okay, so let's go ahead. त्रैविद्यामां सोमपापूतपापान् यज्ञैरिष्ट्वा स्वर्गतिं प्रार्थयन्ते ते पुण्यमासादशुरेन्द्रलोकम् अस्नन्ति दिव्यान् दिवि देव भोगान्. Translation. Those who study the Vedas and drink the Somajis, seeking the heavenly planets, wars, worship me indirectly, purified of sinful reactions, they take birth on the pious heavenly planet of Indra, where they enjoy godly delights. So, purport. Purport would be read by whom? Is there any devotee who can
Hare
read the
Krishna,
purport? Yes, Prabhu
Hare
Nishant,
Krishna, Prabhu.
please read.
Purport by His Divine Grace, Bhakti Prabhupada. The word Vidya refers to the three Vedas, Sama, Yajur, and Rig. A Brahmana who has studied these three Vedas is called a Trivedi. Anyone who is very much attracted to knowledge derived from these three Vedas is respected in society. Unfortunately, there are many great scholars of the Vedas who do not know the ultimate purport of studying them. Therefore, Krishna herein declares himself to be the ultimate goal of the Trivedi. Actual Trivedis take shelter under the lotus feet of Krishna and engage in pure devotional service to satisfy the Lord. Devotional service begins with the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra and side by side trying to understand Krishna in truth. Unfortunately, those who are simply official students of the Vedas become more interested in offering sacrifices to the different demigods like Indra and Chandra. By such endeavor, the worshippers of different demigods are certainly purified of the contamination of the lower qualities of nature and are thereby elevated to the higher planetary system or heavenly planets known as Maharlok, Janarlok, Tapalok, etc. Once situated on those higher planetary systems, one can satisfy his senses hundreds and thousands of times better than on this planet. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Yeah. So, Trividya. Trividya means Vedas are called Trividya because Veda consists of three Vedas, Yajur Veda, Rig Veda, and Sama Veda. Right. And why not Atharva Veda? Because Atharva Veda is the original Veda from which these three Vedas have been compiled. So that's why this is called three Vedas. So know of the three Vedas. So Trividya Mam Sompah Puta Papa Yajఞ Ishtva Swagatim Prarthayante. So those people, those who worship by the knowledge of three Vedas, they drink soma juice and getting purified from papa. Put means purifying, and papa means the sins. And why do they do this? To get their swargati, to passage to heaven. They pray to the different demigods, worshipping them. They want to get to the particular planet, Punyamashadya Surendra Lokam, and performing such pious activities, they are called pious activities, and they attain to the Indraloka, Asnanti Divyan Devi Deva Bhova, and they enjoy heavenly delights, heavenly pleasure of gods. So this Trividya is nothing but the Vedic literatures, the Karma Kanda, which is mostly is Karma Kanda only. Vedas, in fact, Chatur Vedas, four Vedas, is actually nothing but apara vidya, according to Mundak Upanishad, which has nothing to do for liberation. So there is hardly any consideration of liberation of the soul in these four Vedas. The only goal is how to get to those platforms where sense gratification could be magnified or increased more and more. Srila Prabhupada tells that actual Trivedis take shelter under the lotus feet of Krishna and engage in pure devotional service to satisfy the Lord. So they are the real Vedis because they know the heart of the Vedas. They don't see the Vedas in the external point of view because Vedas are words from the Lord. And Lord has given the Vedas in such a way that those who are foolish people, they will not able to understand the purpose of Vedas. That's why Lord tells in Bhagavatam that parokshavad chamam priyam paroksha vadarshyo paroksham chamam priyam. The whole Vedas are actually given in very much indirect sense. What Vedas is actually trying to give, if somebody who is very much neophyte in understanding of Vedas, they will not able to understand the objective of Vedas. What is the objective of Vedas? Objective of Vedas is that people should come to understand Krishna. But those who are not so intelligent, they will not get it because Vedas are not written in the normal language. Vedas are written in very high class language. It's not like we understand physics, chemistry, mathematics, B.L. Thareja, B.S. Grawal. It's not like that. These are not such books. But to understand the purport of Vedas, one need to understand one need to understand through people those who really know the purport of Vedas. So who know the purport of Vedas? Mahajanas. So purport of Vedas are there in the heart of Mahajanas. Otherwise, Vedas remains covered for normal people. And for normal people means these people, those who are after sense gratification, right? So there are different layers of Vedic understanding. One layer, two layer, three layer. So for those who are in fully blinded by sense gratification, they remain on the first level of understanding of Vedas. That is how to get sense gratification in Vedas. And Vedas tells, yes, very nice. All that is in the world is sense gratification. Come here, I will give you best sense gratification. And they just remain like तेतम भुक्त्वा सर्गलोकम विशालम क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्तलोकम विशन्ति एवं त्रय धर्म अनुप्रपन्ना गतागतम काम का भाल बनते. When they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure and the results of their past activities are exhausted, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus, those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to the principles of the three Vedas achieve only repeated birth and death. Yeah. So, those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to the principles of three Vedas achieve only repeated birth and death. Purport. Purport. Who is the purport? Who I read just now? Okay, Anupam Srintapru, could you write kindly speak the purport loudly?
Yes. One who is promoted to the higher planetary systems enjoys a longer duration of life and just longer duration of life and better facilities for sense enjoyment. Yet one is not allowed to stay there forever. One is again sent back to this earth upon finishing the resultant fruits of pious activities. He who has not attained perfection of knowledge, as indicated in the Vedanta Sutra, Janmadiyasya Yatah, or in other words, he who fails to understand Krishna, the cause of all causes, becomes baffled about achieving the ultimate goal of life and is thus subjected to the routine of being promoted to the higher planets and then again coming down, as if situated on a Ferris wheel which sometimes goes up and sometimes comes down. The purport is that instead of being elevated to the spiritual world from which there is no longer any possibility of coming down, one simply dissolves into the cycle of birth and death on higher and lower planetary systems. One should better take to the spiritual world to enjoy an eternal life full of bliss and knowledge and never return to this miserable material existence.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. So, Srila Prabhupada is telling one should better return home back to Godhead. Hmm? Never return to this miserable material existence. So, this is the plight of people, those who are after sense gratification. They get they get attracted toward the flowery language of Vedas, right? Flowery language Vedams, flowers. Srila Prabhupada writes in Srimad Bhagavatam third canto, where similar kind of discussions are going on between the followers of Daksha Prajapati and the followers of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva tells to the followers of Daksha Prajapati, sorry, followers of Lord Shiva tells to followers of Daksha Prajapati, that you people are attracted toward the flowery language of Vedas just for the sake of sense gratification, right? So why? What is the flowery language? Because whatever is there in the flower is very, very temporary, right? Have you seen the flower? Flower looks very beautiful, but you go closer to it. If you touch it, it is very soft. If you smell it, ah, kya mast sugandh hai. And then there are bees. They hum around, they move around, and they suck the honey also. But all these three things is very, very temporary. Morning time, you find so many bees roaming around. Very soft, delicate petals, and very nice to see. And afternoon, you feel like the flower has got withered. And in the night time, you find that flower has fallen down. So the material world offers this Vedas usually, which gives the different types of facilities and different we can say proposals for higher sense gratification is just like that. So people they just temporarily they enjoy a little bit of sense gratification, and after having exhausted their punya, martalokam vishanti, right? So where is martalok, Prabhu? What is called martalok? Huh? What is called martalok? Who can say what is martalok? Where is martalok situated? Martalokam vishanti. Hmm? Where is martalok? Who will say? Martalok is this particular earth. This is called martalok. Are you all here, the devotees? We are just 4 or 5 devotees, and I see half of us we have kept our video. Oh, sorry, not open, closed. I mean, some are open also, some are closed also. Kindly keep your videos open, Prabhu. It will be a great blessing of yours upon me, so that I could better do this service in a more lively way, more better way. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for being merciful upon me. Kindly keep your videos open. So yeah, so this material world, this material world is material world, but this planet Earth is called Martalok. This Martalok is the place where people they get credits. They earn credits to enjoy in the future life, whether they go to hell or go to heaven. When they go to heaven, the user they finish off, they expend all their fruitive uh, activities credits, and again return back to Martalok. Because in this planet Earth, death is just like अभी आया कल गया ना, और आया ही नहीं चला भी गया, ऐसा भी होता है. Like the people has come into the womb of the mother, and mother only kills the baby. So आया ही नहीं चला भी गया, just like that. And some people they come and they are, after some number of years they leave the body. So that's why, because death is very frequent in this material world. So that's why no, in this planet Earth, that's why this planet Earth is called Martalok. So people they go to heavenly planets and they return back to this earthly planet, Martalok. So now, what is the situation of pure devotee to the Lord? What is the situation of pure devotee to the Lord? What is their benefit being the pure devotee to the Lord? So Lord is going to tell in this particular shloka. Very important and very famous shloka. And I think most of you have remembered it. Huh? Most of you have remembered it. So let's go recite it together. Ananyashchintayanto mam. Yeah, Prabhu, you can decide. Yojana paryupasate.
ये जना पर्युपासते
तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां
तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां
योगक्षेमं
Samnityabhyutanam
वहाम्यहम्.
योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम्.
Yogakshikamdhan.
Translation. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have.
Purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. One who is unable to live for a moment without Krishna consciousness cannot but think of Krishna 24 hours a day. Being engaged in devotional service by hearing, chanting, remembering, offering prayers, worshipping, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, rendering other services, cultivating friendship, and surrendering fully to the Lord. Such activities are all auspicious and full of spiritual potencies, which make the devotee perfect in self realization, so that his only desire is to achieve the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a devotee undoubtedly approaches the Lord without difficulty. This is called yoga. By the mercy of the Lord, such a devotee never comes back to this material condition of life. Kshema refer to the merciful protection of the Lord. The Lord helps the devotee to achieve Krishna consciousness by yoga. And when he becomes fully Krishna conscious, the Lord protects him from falling down to the miserable condition life.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. So, yoga, kshemam, vahami, aham. The two things are mentioned there. For those who are unalloyed, pure devotee of the Lord. So, kshema means protection and yoga means requirements. What is the requirement for the devotee? Lord provides them. And whatever is there with the devotee, Lord protects them. Whatever is there in the devotee, what is there of the devotee? What belongs to the devotee? What belongs to the devotees, dear devotees? What belongs to us? What belongs to us that Krishna protects?
Krishna consciousness.
Exactly. Wonderful point. Achyut Saka, Achyut Asokatma Prabhu. Wonderful. So Krishna consciousness is something that belongs to devotees. And Supreme Lord protects that. For whom? Those who are Ananya Chintayanto Ma. Ye Jana Paryupasate. So Ananya Chintayanto. They do not do meditation, they do not think about anybody else than Krishna. So Prabhupada gives the translation that who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form. That the transcendental form they meditate upon. Devotee of the Lord. Always. They cannot be without thinking of the Lord. And they do devotional service while thinking of the Lord. Hearing, chanting, the Navida Bhakti. Always surrendering fully to. Yeah. Okay, so this is the contrast difference between demigod worshippers, those who Mittu Sansar Vartmani, they will come back into this material world. They keep repeating their repeated cycle of birth and death, worshipping different demigods. But those who are pure devotees, they do not worship any demigod. They have only one goal into their life. They don't even deviate their mind even to other Vishnu incarnations also. Only Krishna. So for them, Lord tells that Yogakshema Bhamiham. 923. Yepi anna devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvita tepi mameva kaunteya yajante vidhi purvakam. Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship me only. O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way. Purport.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, please.
Persons who are engaged in the worship of demigod are not very intelligent. Although such worship is offered to me indirectly, Krishna says. For example, when a man pours water on the leaves and branches of a tree without pouring water on the root, he does not sow without sufficient knowledge or without observing regulative principles. Similarly, the process of rendering service to different parts of the body is to supply food to the stomach. The demigods are, so to speak, different officers and directors in the government of the Supreme Lord. One has to follow the laws made by the government, not by the officers or directors. Similarly, everyone is to offer his worship to the Supreme Lord only. That will automatically satisfy the different officers and directors of the Lord. The officers and directors are engaged as representatives of the government, and to offer some bribe to the officers and director is illegal. This is stated here as avidhi purvakam. In other words, Krishna does not approve the unnecessary worship of the demigods.
Certainly. So, Prabhupada gives the two examples. One of the this whole system of government, and the classic example of Srimad Bhagavatam. The two examples. What is the sloka in Srimad Bhagavatam that goes that if you water the roots, then the water will reach to every element of the planet. Of the plant. What is the sloka? And if you put the food in the belly, then all the limbs will be satisfied. And we remember the sloka? Yatha taror mool nishechane. Remember? Yatha taror mool nishechane. Tripmant yat skand bhujopashakha. Pranopaharascha ithendriyana. Tathaiva sarva ahram achyutejya. If you just worship the Lord, Achyuta, then what will happen? Automatically everybody will be satisfied. All the devatas will be satisfied. We don't require to go to different devatas. Usually in villages and different places where this different devatas people they worship, and they have a type of connotation that, oh, if I worship that devata and I neglect that devata, I didn't worship him, then he will become angry. Right? You worshipped him, or you didn't worship me. So they have some different types of conception, right? So, but Lord tells you don't need to go and bribe everyone. You just give your due respect and worship at just one place, to the root of all the devatas, that is Krishna. And everybody will get it. That's what Lord is telling here in 924. Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhurev cha na tumam abhijananti tattvenataschavanti te. Translation. I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. Yeah. So this is what one has to understand after reading some Bhagavad Gita at least. That Supreme Lord is the ultimate beneficiary of all the yajnas. Aham hi sarva yajnana bhokta. Cha prabhu cha, the master asks, Natu mamami jananti. Somebody doesn't understand Lord in this way. Tattvenatas, tattvenatas, in reality, ataha chavanti they will fall down. Certainly they will fall down. That's why it's so very important to preach, right? Krishna consciousness movement. That Krishna is the Supreme Personality, right? First of all, that we need to preach. Krishna is the Supreme Personality. And for that we require to learn the Bhakti Shastras nicely to preach this. Whoever preaches this, the Krishna is Supreme Personality God, that is it. He is a preacher. Prabhupada once he was asking, so see this little Saraswati can also preach. So Prabhupada asked that Saraswati, who is Krishna? That Saraswati says, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? So this awareness has to be brought to the whole world that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and no one else. So everybody should worship Krishna. Purport.
Purport by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada. Here it is clearly stated that there are many types of yajna performances recommended in the Vedic literature, but actually all of them are meant to for satisfying the Supreme Lord. Yajna means Vishnu. In the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly stated that one should only work for satisfying Yajna or Vishnu. The perfectional form of human civilization known as Varnashram Dharma is specifically meant for satisfying Vishnu. Therefore, Krishna says in this verse, I am the enjoyer of all sacrifices because I am the Supreme Master. Less intelligent persons, however, without knowing this fact, worship demigods for temporary benefit. Therefore, they fall down to material existence and do not achieve the desired goal of life. If, however, anyone has any material desire to be fulfilled, he had better pray for it to the Supreme Lord, although that is not pure devotion, and he will thus achieve the desired result.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you so much, Nishanka Prabhu. Yeah. So, what are the takeaway points for you in this particular topic, Prabhu? Anybody have any take? Like to discuss anything? No? Is it clear that what we read? Hmm. Yeah? Yes? No take?
Yajna actually
Okay.
means it is just doing the things for satisfaction of Vishnu. So, so all the activities that anyone does, like the Bhokta is the Supreme Lord. He's the enjoyer of all the things. He's the Supreme Master. So whatever we do, ultimately, it is for his satisfaction.
Yeah. Very wonderful point. Yeah. So this consciousness should be always be there. If we are working so many different. Now maybe somebody is working in LED company, somebody working in some civil engineering company, somebody working in so many places, right? But while working, we must have this consciousness that I am working as simply as the instrument for the satisfaction of Krishna. That will become bhakti, right? That will become bhakti. Yeah, another day we're discussing now. There are three types of bhakti discussed by Srila Jiva Goswami in Bhakti Sandarbha. So one is what is called Sarupa Vritti Bhakti, Sarup Sangha Bhakti. And then the second is called Sangha Siddha Bhakti, Sarup Siddha Bhakti, Sangha Siddha Bhakti, and third one is called attributed, attributely perfected bhakti or Aropa Siddha Bhakti. So many times we happen to do something which is not directly Sarup Siddha Bhakti. It's not Sravanam and Kirtanam. We have to go to job and all that. Yet while doing those jobs, if our consciousness is that I'm doing it for the satisfaction of Vishnu, I'm not doing for my own sense gratification. So then that also turns into bhakti, Bhagavad Dharma. So that's what it is told here. And Mallikarjun, as Madhava has told it. Therefore, one should make Krishna to be the goal of life. Consistently, the goal of life should be made to be Krishna, not anything else, not sense gratification whatsoever. Then we'll not fall down. We'll always be on the transmitter platform, always Krishna conscious. Right? Falling down means falling in the mind. Falling down is doesn't like somebody falls down and he sprains his leg and joins. No, falling down means falling mentally. We brought anything except Krishna in our mind, and the purpose of working except Krishna, that is called falling down, isn't it? That's what is called falling down. And one who has mentally fallen down, he is actually fallen down. It's just a matter of changing the body. He will be finding himself in next life. Those mental attributes and thinking what he was doing in his previous life, he'll very easily will get into those bodies. Other kind of bodies where those desires could be facilitated. Yeah. Falling down means real falling down is falling down in the mind. But those who really understand this, devotees of the Lord, they understand. Aham cha sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha. Lord is Prabhu and I am just simple servant. Natumam abhijananti. One who doesn't understand Krishna in this way always. Tatvena taschavantite. And he falls down. As simple as that. 925. Yanti devavrata devan pitriyanti pitrivrata bhutani yanti bhuteja yanti madhya dinopimam. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. And those who worship me will live with me. Purport.
Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Guru Prabhupada. Purport. If one has any desire to go to the moon, the sun, or any other planet, one can attain the desired destination by following a specific Vedic principle recommended for the purpose, such as the process technically known as the Darsha
Purnamasa.
Purnamasha. These are vividly described in the fruitive activities portion of the Vedas, which recommended a specific worship of the demigods situated on the different heavenly planets. Similarly, one can attain the Pita planet by performing a specific yajna. Similarly, one can go to many ghostly planets and become Yaksha, Rakshasa, and Pisacha. Pisacha worship is called black arts or black magic. There are many men who practice this black art and they think that it is a spiritualism. But such activities are completely materialistic. Similarly, a pure devotee who worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead only achieve the planet of Vaikuntha and Krishna Loka without a doubt. It is very, very easy to understand through this important verse that if by the simply worshipping the demigods one can achieve the heavenly planets, or by worshipping the Pittas achieve the Pitta planet, or by practicing the black arts achieve the ghost planet. Why can the pure devotee not achieve the planet of Krishna or Vishnu? Unfortunately, who can you scroll up? Unfortunately, many people have no information of these sublime planets where Krishna and Vishnu live, and because they do not know of them, they fall down. Even the impersonalists fall down from the Brahma Jyotir. The Krishna consciousness movement is therefore distributing sublime information to the entire human society to the effect that by simply chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one can become perfect in this life and go back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Yeah. So simple logic Prabhupada is telling that if these people, worshippers of Bhuta, they become Bhuta. Worshippers of Devta, they go to Devloka. Worshippers of Pitra, they will go to Pitraloka. Why not worshipper of mine will come back to me? Eternally live with me. As simple as that. So that's why devotees should worship Krishna. They should worship Krishna with staunch devotion. Even though they have material desires, they are recommended to worship Krishna only to fulfill those material desires. Akama sarvo kama va moksha kama udarade. Tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusha para. The param purush should be worshipped with tivra yogena, in whatever way one is. Because senses, our the desires will be fulfilled, and ultimately, because we are worshipping Krishna, we will return home back to God. And what is the point of getting material desires fulfilled and after that getting into this ghostly and type of species? They become bhuta, they become pitras, devatas, and then come back to the material, come back to the Martiloka. So it's best profitable to worship Krishna and give chance to others to worship Krishna. Any preaching application, anything you are able to get from this section you like to share? Preaching or personal application? All of you are veteran devotees, having chosen the only and only shelter of the Lotus feet of Krishna. What you require anything more, right? As a personal application into it, right? Still, Tivrena Bhakti Yogana is something that we can always improvise this in our life. Always choosing to worship Krishna, always choosing to thinking about Krishna. Anything like to share? Any other devotee? Okay.
Hare
This
Krishna, bro.
purport, Srila
Yeah.
Prabhupada,
Anupam Bro
stated
is
like,
saying something.
yes, Guruji.
Yeah, please
Like
tell.
Prabhupada is telling about whom we will worship, that destination we will get to. Similarly, in preaching and in our personal life also, if we will be thinking about Krishna, we tell the devotees, like if you will be engaged in different activities, but if you will be thinking about Krishna, you will be advancing in bhakti. Either you are actually physically present there or not. Or suppose that if someone is present in Mangalati and someone is not present in Mangalati, and he is thinking that this person is not attending the Mangalati, then actually the person in temple hall is actually not present in the Mangalati, because he is thinking about the person who is not there. And the another person who is staying at bed, he is thinking that I couldn't go to Mangalati because of some issues, but I want to do. He is thinking about Krishna, so he is actually in Mangalati. So
Yeah, very nice. Very
this is
wonderful point. Yeah. So thinking what we are thinking actually. That is what we are there. Right? Lord is telling me in 12th chapter, Lord will tell 12.8. If you think about me always and apply your intelligence in me, you will always stay with me. My buddhim niveshya. Ata urdhvam na sanshaya. निवशिष शैषी मय्येव. You will stay with me. निवशिष आप निवास करोगे मेरे साथ. निवास करना मतलब मन को कृष्ण में और बुद्धि को कृष्ण में. बिल्कुल सही. So somebody is not applied. Maybe physically he is serving, but mentally he is not there. So he is not there. And that so-called service will become like work. Heavy burden for him. अरे प्रभु जी कितना सारा काम दे दिया मुझे. अरे भैया सेवा है प्रभु जी क्या सेवा है. कुछ सेवा नहीं है. इतना सारा मुझसे ही करवाना है सेवा और कोई नहीं मिला था. Right? Because his mind is not there in the service. And he has fallen down. That's a fallen down. Chavantite. Actually fallen down from the position of becoming Krishna conscious. Okay, Hare Krishna, let's go ahead. Any other devotee like to say something? I think Avram Prabhu also had unmuted himself and was telling something.
Yes, bro.
Yes.
So preaching points were like Prabhuji, all sacrifices are like meant for Vishnu. And if by worshipping demigods, we can go the demigod planets, and for Bhuta, we can go the Bhuta planet, then why? Why we can't go the Krishna Loka or Vishnu Loka? So if we do that, we can go there. And for the personal realization, we get a clear direction for the life. the devotees have to like worship Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, because other can, by worshipping others, go to their planets. So surely the Creator Krishna. So if we worship him, then we can definitely go his abode.
Yeah. Thank you so much, bro. If you worship Krishna and go to Krishna, 100% sure. 926. पत्रं पुष्पं फलं तोयं यो मे भक्त्या प्रयच्छति तदहं भक्ति उपरितम् अश्नामि प्रयतात्मनः. Translation. Avail. Okay, translation shall I read? If one offers me with a love and devotion a leaf and flower, a fruit or water, I will accept it. Purport.
Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. For the intelligent person, it is essential to be in Krishna consciousness, engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord in order to achieve a permanent, blissful abode for eternal happiness. The process of achieving such a marvelous result is very easy and can be attempted even by the poorest of the poor without any kind of qualification. The only qualification required in this connection is to be a pure devotee of the Lord. It does not matter what one is or where one is situated. The process is so easy that even a leaf or a little water or fruit can be offered to the Supreme Lord in genuine love, and the Lord will be pleased to accept it. No one therefore can be barred from Krishna consciousness because it is so easy and universal. Who is such a fool that he does not want to be Krishna conscious by this simple method, thus attain the highest perfectional life of eternity, bliss, and knowledge? Krishna wants only loving service and nothing more. Krishna accepts even a little flower from his pure devotee. He does not want any kind of offering from a non-devotee. He is not in need of anything from anyone because he is self-sufficient. And yet, he accepts the offering of his devotee in an exchange of love and affection. To develop Krishna consciousness is the highest perfection of life. Bhakti is mentioned twice in this verse in order to declare more emphatically that bhakti or devotional service is the only means to approach Krishna. No other condition, such as becoming a Brahmana, a learned scholar, a very rich man, or a great philosopher, can induce Krishna to accept some offering. Without the basic principle of bhakti, nothing can induce the Lord to agree to accept anything from anyone. Bhakti is never casual. The process is eternal. It is direct action in service to the absolute whole. Here, Lord Krishna, having established that he is the only enjoyer, the primeval Lord, and the real object of all sacrificial offerings, reveals what types of sacrifices he desires to be offered. If one wishes to engage in devotional service to the Supreme in order to be purified and to reach the goal of life, the transcendental loving service of God, then one should find out what Lord desires of him. One who loves Krishna will give him whatever he wants, and he avoids offering anything which is undesirable or unasked. Thus, meat, fish, and eggs should not be offered to Krishna. If he desired such things as offering, he would have said so. Instead, he clearly requests that a leaf, fruit, flower, and water be given to him. And he says of this offering, I will accept it. Therefore, we should understand that he will not accept meat, fish, eggs. Vegetables, grains, fruits, milk, and water are the proper food for human beings and are prescribed by the Lord Krishna himself. Whatever else we eat cannot be offered to him, since we will not accept it. Thus, We cannot be acting on the level of loving devotion if we offer such foods. In the third chapter, verse 13, Sri Krishna explains that only the remains of sacrifice are purified and fit for consumption by those who are seeking advancement in life and release from the clutches of the material entanglement. Those who do not make an offering of their food, he says in the same verse, are eating only sin. In other words, their every mouthful is simply deepening their involvement in the complexities of material nature. But preparing nice, simple vegetable dishes, offering them before the picture or deity of the Lord Krishna, and bowing down and praying for him to accept such a humble offering, enable one to advance steadily in life, to purify the body, and to create fine brain tissues which will lead to clear thinking. Above all, the offering should be made with an attitude of love. Krishna has no need of food, since he already possesses everything that be.
Wait. Everywhere.
Up, Prabhu, little up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Above
This way.
all,
Yeah.
should I read, Prabhu?
Yeah.
Yeah. Above all, the offering should be made with an attitude of love. Krishna has no need of food, since he already possesses everything that be. Yet he will accept the offering of one who desires to please him in that way. The important element in preparation, in serving, and in offering is to act with love for Krishna. The impersonalist philosophers who wish to maintain that the absolute truth is without senses cannot comprehend this verse of Bhagavad Gita. To them, it is either a metaphor or proof of the mundane character of Krishna, the speaker of Bhagavad Gita. But in actuality, Krishna, the Supreme Godhead, has senses, and it is stated that his senses are interchangeable. In other words, one sense can perform the function of any other. This is what it means to say that Krishna is absolute. Lacking senses, he could hardly be considered full in all opulences. In the seventh chapter, Krishna has explained that he impregnates the living entities into material nature. This is done by his looking upon material nature. And so, in this instance, Krishna's hearing the devotee's words of love in offering foodstuff is wholly identical with his eating and actually tasting. This point should be emphasized. Because of his absolute position, his hearing is wholly identical with his eating and tasting. Only the devotee who accepts Krishna as he describes himself without interpretation can understand that the supreme absolute truth can eat food and enjoy it.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Any takeaway? Any takeaways, dear devotees? Whether it's personal application or preaching.
Yes, Prabhu.
Viram Chatandu, yes, please tell.
Prabhu, I have done few points. For the preaching, there are few points. So bhakti is the only qualification to go back to Godhead, and Krishna is the enjoyer of all listeners. And third point is food offered to Krishna become the prasadam, and rest, whatever is not offered to Krishna, is just simply the sin. And Krishna has sensed it, but they are interchangeable, absolute. These are the preaching sense, and the personal realization is the love is more important than the item. If simply one offer patram pushpam phalam to him, then Krishna accept. But the condition is Krishna accept from the devotees. But if a non-devotee offer big things, Krishna have no interest in that. And second thing, the prasadam. It is also said that the transformation comes through the prasadam at the initial stage.
Hare
Because
Krishna. So
Hare
many
Krishna.
points. So many points. Everybody's point is told by Avram Chitan Prabhu. So in the previous sloka, we saw that Lord is telling, if you worship me, then you come to me. But how to worship the Lord? It's not like, any people they worship any other demigod. You know? Idam swaha, idam nama, ilim klim, and idam swaha, idam nama, swaha. Hardly you find any love, right? So much adambar and hardly any. People want to show others that they are such big religionists while they worship different demigods. But this will not work in worship Krishna. Yes, this will not work. Krishna will not be happy by the adambar. Krishna will be happy by bhaktya. That's why the two type bhakti word is used. Bhaktya prechati, bhakti uparitam. Right. Then asnami. Then only Lord accepts that. So of course, bhakti, the love, is the real element Lord Krishna takes. Bhava, grahi, janardana. Love that Krishna takes. Lord is not taking chappan bhog. Of course, that is the heart of the devotee. If they have money, then they try to give best offering to the Lord. Best offering. If you go to any ISKCON temple, we will not give Lord any cheap thing. Best thing will give. Best thing. Best ghee, best sabji, best fruits, chosen ones, having no dag, nothing, all like first class fruits. Why? Because we love Krishna. Not like, Are Prabhuji, whatever was cheap, I just brought it. No, 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 no. That will not work. We have to get best for the Lord because we love Krishna in the relationship. And that's what is bhakti. Bhakti is sown in just not whilst offering. Bhakti is sown throughout the whole process from purchasing to bringing to chopping it, cutting it, salting it, frying it, boiling it, spicing it, arranging it, covering it, offering it. It's not just the end result, but through the whole process, what consciousness is involved. Everything is bhakti because it is for the pleasure of the Lord. So that's what it is. The bhakti is not causal. The process is eternal. The process of bhakti is eternal. So we must understand while our performance of serving also that in every process one need to be very conscious that this is actually going for the pleasure of the Lord, and that should be done in the best possible way, right? Best quality of everything, ingredients and all. So then it makes a first class offering. First class of the Lord accept it. Lord accepts it. And Srila Prabhupada also banks this impersonalist who says that Supreme Absolute lacks senses. Supreme Lord never lacks senses. If he lacking senses, then how is Supreme? How is Supreme Absolute Truth could be lacking something? Then he's not Absolute Truth. He's lacking senses. So he's not lacking senses, but his senses are perfectly spiritual. Angani yasya sakala indrivritti manti. Okay, let's go ahead. 927. Yat karoshi yadashnasi yajjuhoshi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. Purport.
Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Thus, it is a duty of everyone to mold his life in such a way that he will not forget Krishna in any circumstances. Everyone has to work for maintenance of his body and soul together, and Krishna recommends herein that one should work for him. Everyone has to eat something to live. Therefore, You should accept the remnants of foodstuff offered to Krishna. Any civilized man has to perform some religious ritualistic ceremonies. Therefore, Krishna recommends, do it for me. And this is called Archana. Everyone has a tendency to give something in charity. Krishna says, give it to me. And this means that all surplus money accumulated should be utilized in furthering the Krishna consciousness movement. Nowadays, people are very much inclined to the meditational process, which is not practical in this age. But if anyone practices meditating on Krishna 24 hours a day by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra round his beads, he is surely the greatest meditator and the greatest yogi, as substantiated by the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, Prabhu. So, Patram Puspam Phalam Tam to is there. But somebody may say that, Prabhuji, what about other things? Is there any other way to worship Krishna? Yeah, I am working somewhere in the company. I eat many things, whatever I feel like. I eat. I eat popcorn. I eat pizza, mm, khaja, so many things. Uh, I sometimes offer to my friends something. Sometimes I practice giveaway. Giveaway. We give away some company that practice giveaway. Today it's big giveaway. Right? And austerities are also sometimes performed. Austerities. So Lord is telling, okay, those things also you can offer it to me. You offer that also to me. There is no problem. And you can start by doing so. So it's not just offering bhoga and just ringing the bell and that's what is complete. Lord is telling that you can be always about Krishna. You can be Krishna conscious for the whole day. Whatever you do, you should always do everything for me. That's what the Lord is telling. Do it for me. This is called Archana. Any civilized man has to perform some religious ritualistic ceremony. Therefore, Krishna recommends do it for me. And this is called Archana. And very important point for specifically Grihastha devotees. What is meant here? Everyone has a tendency to do something with charity. Krishna says, give it to me. And this means that all surplus money accumulated should be utilized in furthering the Krishna consciousness. All the money accumulated should be utilized in furthering the Krishna consciousness movement. That's what it is. It's a whole, it's a shade of Krishna consciousness. Shade of Krishna consciousness. Like somebody is like 100% Krishna conscious. So for him, there is nothing called surplus. Everything is for Krishna, right? It's not like, okay, this much is for my son's gratification, this is for family, this is for the emergency, and this is for Krishna. And no, it's not like that. For him, everything is for Krishna. So whatever is there, everything is engaged in service of Krishna, in preaching services of Krishna. That's what it is. But some who are not, so they utilize some good amount to Krishna. So, so that's why this karmarpana bhakti is like in shades. And one is like karma yogi, he gives a little bit, or maybe that's called karma mishrit bhakti, little bit they give to the service to Krishna, right? So karma mishrit bhakti. Yesterday I was distributing books in Junction Mall in Durgapur yesterday night, and so many people were celebrating Mahalaya or something, some ceremony. And one fellow, he just came drunk and he came in front of me. I want to give donation. दान देना चाहते हैं बिल्कुल दान दीजिए so but I thought that he could get some money also he could get some book also so he gave 500 rupees I thought I will give him Krishna book I didn't accept Krishna book because that's what his adhikar is so he can give some donation what he worked something then he just want to give So that's okay. And that's some little bit of karma yoga that he did. So, but when somebody does this, like very consciously that I'm doing it for Krishna, that's not karma yoga, it's karma, it's karmarpana bhakti. There is a difference between. Karma yoga means a lot of karma, little bit bhakti. But karmarpana bhakti means a lot of bhakti and karma is involved into it. So in karmarpana, devotees are very, very Krishna conscious and they want to increase Krishna consciousness under guidance of the spiritual masters. But karma yoga is not directed by the spiritual master. Somewhere, sometime they do little bit of service. So of course, we are mostly into this lot of bhakti and little bit karma. Consciousness is fully Krishna conscious, and that's what the devotees should have the attitude of that how to surrender everything to Krishna, everything for Krishna. Text 928. शुभाशुभ फलैरेवं मोक्षसे कर्म बंधनैः संन्यास योग युक्तात्मा विमुक्तो माम उपैष्यसि. Translation: in this way you will be freed from bondage to work and its auspicious and inauspicious results. With your mind fixed on me in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and come to me. So in this way you will be freed from bondage to work and its auspicious and inauspicious results. Because every work have some auspicious and some inauspicious result. If you are working, yat karosi, there will be auspicious and inauspicious. But when it is not done for Krishna, then inauspicious results and auspicious results will work. And further, it will implicate the jiva into different types of reactionary consequences. But when somebody does anything thinking about Krishna, mind fixed on Krishna, then he is detached from the reactions of the work. He is not detached means he doesn't touches only. He just like Padma Patra Imamasam, just like the water on the petal of lotus. Even though he is touching lotus petals, the water is touching, but actually it's not touching. It's like that because he is fully Krishna conscious. He is working, but he is conscious of Krishna, that I am working for Krishna. I am working for Krishna. Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, once a Grihastha, he was working in a company, PepsiCo company, and he was working and giving donation for running temple in Vancouver. He asked Srila Prabhupada, am I karmi or I am a bhakta? Because I am working in a company. Srila Prabhupada said, who is telling that you are a karmi? You are a bhakta. You are a first class sannyasi. You are better than sannyasi because you are working for Krishna. So one is fully liberated platform. One is you will be liberated and come to me. Of course, this type of work slowly leads to more intensified Swarupa Siddha Bhakti, more get dedicated into Swarupa Siddha Bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtana, Vishnu Smaranam. So one who acts in Krishna consciousness under superior direction is called Yukta. Okay, who will read?
Hare Krishna.
Nishank Prabhu. Okay, Achyut Prabhu.
One who acts in Krishna consciousness under superior direction is called Yukta. The technical term is Yukta Vairagya. This is further explained by Rupa Goswami as follows: Anasaktasya Vishayan Yathar Aham Upayujantah Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagyam Uchyate. Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu 1.2.255. Srila Rupa Goswami says that as long as we are in this material world, we have to act. We cannot cease acting. Therefore, if actions are performed and the fruits are given to Krishna, then that is called Yukta Vairagya. Actually, situated in renunciation, such activities clear the mirror of the mind. And as the actor gradually makes progress in spiritual realization, he becomes completely surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, at the end, he becomes liberated. And this liberation is also specified. By this liberation, he does not become one with the Brahm Jyoti, but rather enters into the planet of Supreme Lord. It is clearly mentioned here, Mam Upashyasi. He comes to me, back home, back to Godhead. There are 5 different stages of liberation, and here it is specified the devotee who has always lived with his lifetime here under the direction of the Lord, as stated, has evolved to the point where he can, after quitting his body, go back to Godhead and engage directly in the association of the Supreme Lord. Anyone who has no interest but to dedicate his life to the service of the Lord is actually a sannyasi. Such a person always think of himself as an eternal servant, dependent on the supreme will of the Lord. As such, whatever he does it for the benefit of the Lord. Whatever actions he performs it as service to the Lord. He does not give serious attention to the fruitive.
Hare Krishna.
He does it for the benefit of the Lord. Whatever action he performs, he does of the Lord. He does not give serious attention to the fruitive activities or prescribed duties mentioned in the Vedas. For ordinary persons, it is obligatory to accept the described duties mentioned in the Vedas. But although a pure devotee who is completely engaged in the service of the Lord may sometimes appear to go against the prescribed Vedic duties, actually it is not so. It is said, therefore, by Vaishnava authorities, that even the most intelligent person cannot understand plans and activities of the pure devotee. The exact words are Tanra, Vakya, Kriya, Mudra, Viggeha, Na Bujaya, sorry. A person who is thus always engaged in the service of the Lord or always thinking and planning how to serve the Lord is to be considered completely liberated at present. And in the future, he is going back home, back to Godhead, is guaranteed. He is above all materialistic criticism, just as Krishna is above all criticism.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Yeah, so this is what is called, the devotional service. When somebody performs whose Vishaya is Krishna. Subhasu Falere Mokshashe Karambandhane. Sannyas Yoga Yuktatma. Vimukto Mam Upeshashi. Yoga Yuktatma is always doing any activity for Krishna whatsoever. So that person is sannyasi, Srila Prabhupada is telling. Better than sannyasi, even though seemingly he's working just like a normal karmi, but he's working for Krishna. Karmi work for sense gratification, and the bhakta work for Krishna. That's the difference. So seemingly it's look like he's working just like a karmi, but actually he's not so. Just like Srila Prabhupada happened to become the priest of his disciples' marriage. Now say, who is the sannyasi in the whole world, in the history of the world, who made the marriage of his disciples? No one. But Srila Prabhupada did so. So this is not the business of sannyasi to even lit the fire. That's why these sannyasis are called niragni, have nothing to do with the fire. But Srila Prabhupada did fire yajna. Wow. So what is this? But purpose was great. Purpose was Krishna consciousness. Purpose was to bring people closer to Krishna. Purpose was to spread Krishna Bhakti, Krishna consciousness. But outwardly somebody will criticize. And actually Srila Prabhupada became the subject of criticism for many people, even so-called devotees also. So that's why Srila Prabhupada is telling that what is important? Important is the value, the purpose behind what we are doing, right? Or why we are doing what we are doing, right? Why we are doing what we are doing. That's very, very, very important. So in all so-called auspicious and inauspicious work, if everybody, a person who is engaged, but for the purpose of bringing Krishna consciousness to the whole world, preaching the holy name, supporting the Sridham Sankirtan movement, then is free from all auspicious and inauspicious results. the activities. And is liberated. He is perfectly liberated person. And Mam Upasyashi, you will attain me. Any takeaways? Any example if you feel like Hari Bol,
Hare Krishna.
other devotee, Abhiram Chetan Provachari? Yeah, fine. Yes, Prabhu, please do.
Just a few points. I'm not the definition of Yukta Vairagya. So the one acts performed all the activities for the Krishna, but fruit give to Krishna, that is Yukta Vairagya. And also there are 5 stages of the liberations. And one important part is that if one do all the activity for the Krishna, then at the end he become liberated. But the liberation he get is not the Brahmajyoti. He don't become one with the Brahmajyoti, but he get the liberation he get enter the planet of the Supreme Lord.
Thanks. Very nice 2 points. So, Abhiram Prabhu was telling Yukta Vairagya. So, this is very, very important to understand what is called Yukta Vairagya. So, the 2 words are used to make this word Yukta Vairagya, this kind of sandhi. Yukta and Vairagya. So, Vairagya comes at the end, Yukta comes at the beginning. Means, Vairagya is first and foremost important thing, right?
Yes.
And Vairagya, first one should Vairagya. Then he become Yukta. It's not like Yukta, then maybe little bit Vairagya will come.
Vairagya.
No. So because Vairagya comes at the end, like we say Karma Mishra Bhakti, means Bhakti the most prominent thing, a little karma is into it. But we say Bhakti Mishri Karma, means karma is majority and Bhakti is a little bit. You know? So here Yukta Vairagya means one should very nicely understand it and what it means. Vairagya is most important. Vairagya is not something, Prabhuji, we are utilizing everything from Krishna, but are you really doing it? Unlike some devotee purchases a used car. He got the money, he purchased used car. Just on the plea that Prabhuji, maybe one day my Guru Maharaj will come and I will ride him from airport to my home or some preaching place. But that day came just once in a 5 years. And the whole 5 years, what did he do? He engaged in so many going here and there activities, going to different tourist places and all. And not even engage in preaching services also because it's very costly car that only you engage in high level activities, either for sense gratification or maybe one day my Guru Maharaj will come and I'll be vegetable. So very, very important to understand Yukta Vairagya also. Sometimes we take this Yukta Vairagya term and we stretch it so much, scratch it and we just मतलब Yukta Vairagya भी सोच रहा हूँ बेटा कहाँ से मैं आ गया people are using it so many way just to making their license to do sense gratification. Yeah. So Yukta Vairagya is not simply Yukta, it's real Vairagya, then it is used in service of Krishna. That's what it is, Yukta Vairagya. But one is fully detached from the process and as well the fruit also. That's Vairagya. But it is Yukta. Yukta means it is not Yukta for sense gratification. That is never true. Prabhupada said, well, it's Yukta Vairagya, Prabhuji. But Yukta is Yukta with Krishna, not Yukta with your sense gratification. It's all Vairagya. And that is Yukta with Krishna, whatever it is. So that's what it is to be understood. Okay, so yeah, fine. So any other devotee like to share something?
In the last paragraph, Prabhupada was writing that it is stated by the Vaishnava Dharma that these activities are not easy to understand. It is mentioning it. So we see many Maharaj and certain personalities, devotees, who seems to be engaged, like you give an example, Prabhupada doing marriage ceremonies, and some Maharaj goes to marriage ceremony and other things to big donors. So one may think that what to do, why sannyasis are going there. So we think that they are actually under this particular platforms. So we don't understand easily the activities of the exalted personality that Prabhupada is mentioning. It is not easy to understand. वाक्य तार्क किया वाक्य मंत्र begin actually. It is
Yeah, thank you. Wonderful point, Anupam Pro. Yeah. So we cannot, fathom, and we cannot just think, comment mentally that, who is doing what. There could be in a different platform altogether. Just like we see the example of this Pundrik Vidyanidhi. Seemingly he was a first class Visai, and as soon as he hears the sloka from Srimad Bhagavatam, Baraha Pidam Natavar Bhagwan, comes out to be like Bhagavata immediately. So, like, it's all about thinking, which platform he's in mind. It's all about it. External doesn't matter. How much he's engaged in service of Krishna, how much he's having yukta with Krishna. That's what it's all about. But usually, the material mind, material vision is materially calculated. It doesn't see the mind, but everything is all about that. So, okay, 929. So, samoham sarvabhuteshu na me dveshvestu na priyaha ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya maite te suchapyaham. Translation. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him.
right.
Nishankar. Yeah. Nishankar is there? Okay, could you read?
Yes, bro.
Can you read?
One may question here that if Krishna is equal to everyone and no one is his special friend, then why does he take a special interest in the devotees who are always engaged in his transcendental service? But this is not discrimination, it is natural. Any man in this material world may be very charitably disposed, yet he has a special interest in his own children. The Lord claims that every living entity, in whatever form, is his son, and so he provides everyone with a generous supply of necessities of life. He is just like a cloud which pours rain all over, regardless of whether it falls on rock or land or water. For his devotees, he gives specific attention. Such devotees are mentioned here. They are always in Krishna consciousness, and therefore they are always transcendently situated in Krishna. The very phrase Krishna consciousness suggests that those who are in such consciousness are living transcendentalists situated in Him. The Lord says here distinctly, Maite, they are in me. Naturally, as a result, the Lord is also in them. This is reciprocal. This also explains the words Ye tatha mam,
Prapadyante.
Ye tatha mam prapadyante tam tathaiva bhajami aham. Whoever surrenders unto me proportionately, I take care of him. The transcendental reciprocation exists because both the Lord and the devotees are conscious. When a diamond is set in the golden ring, it looks very nice. The gold is glorified, and at the same time, the diamond is glorified. The Lord and the living entity eternally glitter, and when a living entity becomes inclined to the service of the Supreme Lord, he looks like gold. Lord is a diamond, and so this combination is very nice. Living entities in a pure state are called devotees. The Supreme Lord becomes the devotee of his devotees. If a reciprocal relationship is not present between the devotee and the Lord, then there is no personalist philosophy. In the impersonal philosophy, there is no reciprocation between the Supreme and the living entity. But in the personalist philosophy, there is. The example is often given that the Lord is like a desire tree, and whatever one wants from this desire tree, the Lord supplies. But here the explanation is more complete. The Lord is here stated to be partial to the devotees. This is the manifestation of the Lord's special mercies to the devotees. The Lord's reciprocation should not be considered to be under the law of karma. It belongs to the transcendental situation in which the Lord and his devotees function. Devotional service to the Lord is not the activity of this material world. It is a part of the spiritual world where eternity, bliss, and knowledge predominate.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Thank you so much. And so beautiful, beautiful purport by Srila Prabhupada. Wow. So many takeaways from this small little purport. So many wonderful examples are given here. And the parable. Srila Prabhupada gives example of son and the father. So Supreme Lord becomes like very loving father to the living entities who worships him, who bhajanti, who serves him, and the transcendental service unto him. Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya, maite te suchapi ham. I'm just, as he who is doing my bhajan, I'm also doing his bhajan. Not only his bhajan, but I become the servant of his servant. Lord Srila Prabhupada is telling here. Usually I am equal to all. Samoham sarvabhuteshu. Nobody is envious. I mean, nobody is uh, dvesha, deveshi. No me dveshastu. I am not hateful to anyone. No priyaha. Neither I am dear to anybody else. I am just like a neutral guy. But ye bhajanti to mam bhakta mahi tite suchate. Mr. Prabhupada tells, ye thamam prapadyanse tam sathaye bhajami ham. Anybody worship him whatever way, I worship him that way. So keeping the same principle, Lord is telling this, that ye bhajanti tu mam bhakta mahi tite suchape. If a bhakta worships me, and I also worship him. And he always says, because bhaktas always keep me into their hearts. Bhaktas always keep me into their hearts. So I also keep them in my hearts. Maite tesu chapi aham. So I always keep them into my heart. So they are always staying with me. Right? That's what Lord is telling. That whoever is thinking about me always and applying his buddhi, intelligence in me, he is staying with me because that person has actually put Krishna into his mind and his heart. So Krishna also does the reciprocal thing. Krishna also always think about him. Krishna also keep him into his heart. So that's what is Lord's reciprocal principle in Bhagavad Gita. Of course, Srimad Bhagavatam goes even further ahead. That Lord is telling that now I cannot repay the debt. I cannot repay the way my devotees worship me. My God, I cannot worship them. My har man gaya. I cannot reciprocate. But on the level of Bhagavad Gita, that much we should understand that Lord is very, very reciprocal. And somebody is so much reciprocal, he cannot be at least impersonal, as Mayavadis they say. Impersonalist, they say. Impersonal like cannot be, reciprocated. Yeah. So examples are given of diamond. Lord is to be considered as to be diamond and Jiva is to be gold. And when the gold and diamond comes together, both of them becomes beautified by each other. Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead. So, okay, we already completed the demigod worshippers and devotee worshippers. Demigod worshippers and Lord's worshippers, devotees. Now we are gonna go for next section, the glories of directly worshipping Krishna. So this is what is the one of the sloka that we discussed, and further comes some series of slokas concluding the chapter in 934, 34th sloka, and that's the most confidence and knowledge of the whole Vedas, as well as the most confidence and knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. And the title of this chapter is also most confidence and knowledge. So 930. Api chet suduracharo bhajte mamananya bhak. Oh, you're not able to see? Sorry. Sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavasito hi saha. Translation. Even if one commits the most abominable action, if he engages in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah,
The
please go ahead.
word Sudurachara used in this verse is very significant and we should understand it properly. When a living entity is conditioned, he has two kinds of activities. One is conditional and the other is constitutional. As for protecting the body or abiding by the rules of society and state, certainly there are different activities, even for the devotees in connection with the conditional life, and such activities are called conditional. Besides these, the living entity who is fully conscious of his spiritual nature and is engaged in Krishna consciousness or the devotional service of the Lord has activities which are called transcendental. Such activities are performed in his constitutional position and they are technically called devotional service. Now, in the conditional state, sometimes devotional service and the conditional service in relation to the body will parallel with one another. But then again, sometimes these activities become opposed to one another. As far as possible, a devotee is very cautious of that he does not do anything that could disrupt his wholesome condition. He knows that perfection in his activities depends on his progressive realization of Krishna consciousness. Sometimes, however, it may be seen that a person in Krishna consciousness commits some act which may be taken as most abominable socially or politically, but such a temporary fall down does not disqualify him. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that if a person falls down but is wholeheartedly engaged in the transcendental service of the Supreme Lord, the Lord, being situated within his heart, purifies him and excuses him from that abomination. The material contamination is so strong that even a yogi fully engaged in the service of the Lord sometimes become ensnared, but Krishna consciousness is so strong that such an occasional fall down is at once rectified. Therefore, the process of devotional service is always a success. No one could, no one should deride a devotee for some accidental fall down from the ideal path. For as explained in the next verses, such occasional fall down will be stopped in due course, as soon as a devotee is completely situated in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, a person who is situated in Krishna consciousness and is engaged with determination in the process of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, should be considered to be in the transcendental position. Even if by chance or accident he is found to have fallen, the word sadhur eva, he is saintly, are very emphatic. They are a warning to the non-devotees that because of an accidental fall down, a devotee should not be derided. He should still be considered saintly even if he has accidentally fall down. And the word mantavya is still more emphatic. If one does not follow this rule and deride a devotee for his accidental fall down, then one is disobeying the order of the Supreme Lord. The only qualification of a devotee is to be unflinchingly and exclusively engaged in devotional service. In the Nrsimha Purana, the following statement is given: Bhagavati Chaita Harava Ananyacheta Visho Malino Virajate Manushya Nahi Shasha Kalusachavi Kadachit Timira Kalavavana Jayati Chakraha. Meaning is that even if one fully engaged in the devotional service of the Lord is sometimes found engaged in abominable activities, these activities should be considered to be like the spots that resembles the mark of a rabbit on the moon. Such spots do not become an impediment to the diffusion of moonlight. Similarly, the accidental fall down of a devotee from the path of saintly character does not make him abominable. On the other hand, one should not misunderstand that a devotee in transcendental devotional service can act in all kinds of abominable ways. On the other hand, one should not misunderstand that a devotee in transcendental devotional service can act in all kinds of abominable ways. This verse only refers to an accident due to the strong power of material connections. Devotional service is more or less a declaration of war against the illusory energy. As long as one is not strong enough to fight the illusory energy, there may be accidental fall downs. But when one is strong enough, he is no longer subjected to such fall downs. As previously explained, no one should take advantage of this verse and commit nonsense and think that he is still a devotee. If he does not improve in his character by devotional service, then it is to be understood that he is not a high devotee. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, bro. So it's very, very important to apply this sloka in the right perspective, right? So this is the perspective of a devotee or non-devotee. For any other devotee who happened to accidentally commit some fallacious activity, but this should not be applied to the devotee himself who is doing fallacious activities, right? Is it clear? So if this sloka is for those who are manyate, mantavya is mentioned. Mantavya means one should not consider that devotee to be really fallen and a sadhu. He happened to sometimes accidentally commit some sinful activities. So that is for the third person. Lord is telling for the third person. But it is not true for the second person who actually committed the sin. He should consider himself that actually, yeah, I am the fallen soul and I have to do a lot of service, a lot of focused devotion service. So api chet suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhag. I have to do ananya bhag bhakti. Sadhureva samantavya samyak veshito hi saha. So the person who does ananya bhakti, uh, they take shelter of Krishna and no one else. So the process itself is having so much of purifying effect. He doesn't have to do anything else. He will certainly surely get purified because he is doing smaranam of Krishna. He is thinking, repenting himself. And the fire of repentance, those all sinful reactions, what he has done, that will be purified. Whatever little seed of desires of performing those sinful activities there, that will also get purified when he will become perfectly Krishna conscious. That's what Srila Prabhupada is telling here. So, when we become completely saturated in Krishna consciousness, such accidental occasional fall downs will be stopped in due course as soon as the devotee is completely saturated in Krishna consciousness. Yeah. So that's why the devotee should not be derided for the accidental fall down. This is the instruction for the third party. Yeah, because the devotee is engaged in Ananya Bhakti, chanting the holy name of Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. And for the second party who happen to fall on, you should not feel like, okay, now I can do it whatever way, because apichet suduracharo, and I will still be called to be devotee. So Prabhupada said that he will not be considered to be a high devotee. High devotee, if he takes this sloka to be the license to commit many sinful activities and hidingly doing all notorious activities and showing others that he is a devotee. So then it's dangerous for him. Yeah. In Bhagavatam, similar sloka comes. Baddhamanopi. Lord is telling to the. Let me check if there is any hit. P is coming, but the Mano is not coming. Okay, anyway. So, any reflection for this preaching application or personal application purpose? Okay, fine. Let's go to next sloka. Who is there?
So this shloka specifies fall down that is accidental. So sometimes Prabhupada also warning here that we should take care that accidental fall downs are elaborated here. That in that case, the saintly person will be considered as saintly only for any critical sinful activities, whatever he done. So we should not take advantage of that, and we should not start something uh, like uh, uh, entangling into the sinful activities. We should always be serious for each and every rules and regulations. People are warning here that no one should take uh, advantage of this verse and commit nonsense and think that he is still a devotee. So that is important here. That we can take into the personal application as well as for the preaching application also. That character is important, so we should maintain our character by following the rules and regulations.
Very nice.
One important thing Prabhuji here also mentioned in most of this paragraph. Uh, the only qualification of a devotee is to be unflinchingly and exclusively engaged in devotional service. Even if one is called out from the devotional service platform, whatever he was earlier performing. But he is still, even after doing some mischievous activities or doing some abominable things, he is unflinchingly and exclusively engaged in devotional service, even after doing it. Then there is a chances to be rectification.
Yeah. Thank you so much, bro. Yeah, certainly this unflinching devotional service means he's not giving up devotional service. No, he's just he's performing devotional service in more intense way. So everything is there into it. So he's repenting for that. Just like Azamila, he happened to fall down. Then he had darshan of Yamdutas. Also, he had the darshan of Vishnu Duta. Then he was repenting in front of Vishnu Duta. He was about to speak something, and fat Vishnu Dutas all disappeared. And then whole 12 years he repented. A very intense devotion service in Haridwar he did. And in just after 12 years of intense devotion service, those four young Vishnu Duta they came and took him back home, back to Godhead. Yeah. So that repentance is very, very powerful actually. That divinity have that. Because of this, all that reactions, everything, as well as the inside the seed of performance of sinful activities also burns away. Thank you. Wonderful point. Anupam Shrinitai Prabhu. Any other devotee? Okay, let's go ahead. Text 32. On text 31. क्षिप्रं भवति धर्मात्मा शश्वत् शान्ति निगच्छति कौन्तेय प्रतिजानीहि न मे भक्त प्रणश्यति. He quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes.
But this should not be misunderstood. In the seventh chapter, the Lord says that one who is engaged in mischievous activities cannot become a devotee of the Lord. One who is not devotee of the Lord has no good qualification whatsoever. So the question remains then, how can a person engaged in abominable activities, either by accidental or by intention, be a pure devotee? This question may just be raised. The miscreants, as stated in the seventh chapter, who never come to the devotional service of the Lord, have no good qualifications. As it is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam, generally a devotee who is engaged in the ninth kind of devotional activities is engaged in the process of cleansing all material contamination from the heart. He puts the Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart, and all sinful contamination are naturally washed away. Continuous thinking of Supreme Lord makes him pure by nature. According to the Vedas, there is a certain regulation. This is one uh, regulation that if one falls down from his exalted position, he has no undergo certain ritualistic process to purify himself. But here there is no such condition, because the purifying process is already there in the heart of the devotee due to his remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead constantly. Therefore, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare should be continued without stoppage. This will protect a devotee from all accidental fall downs. He will thus remain perpetually free from all material contaminations.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So, very beautiful point, and very much, practically applicable in our own life. So, devotees, because they're always continuously thinking of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that's the way, that the process by which devotees are always beyond these sinful activities. Always there. And as soon as they forget Krishna, that's when the problem starts. eh? That we remember we discussed some days back that how this people, they come to commit sinful activities by forgetting Krishna. So the process of Krishna consciousness is in itself so much purifying that if somebody has taken up a cause to become Krishna conscious, I will remain Krishna conscious throughout the whole day. I'll somehow or other, I will make it to, in my mind, that I think about the Lord somehow or other. So then he becomes perfectly peaceful in every situation. And uh, that's what the position of, you can say that Mahabhagavata is always Krishna conscious. And so, so long one has not come to that platform, there will be some sinusoidal waves, some ups and downs, like keep going on. So that's why the ultimate perfectional level to become always Krishna conscious. And Shashwat Shanti Nigachati. Pratijane hi Kaunteya Pratijane hi Name Bhakta. That my devotee will never perish. I am there right into his heart. He only forgets it. When he forgets it, then he may happen to commit. Again, he remembers me. Then immediately it's out. So slowly, the remembrance of the Lord increases for the devotee. As a matter of time, he passes in Krishna consciousness process of devotional service. And the day comes when he always Krishna conscious. And because he's always Krishna conscious, he's never deviated from Krishna consciousness, and never he falls down. Never there is a time when he think of anything else than Krishna. And there is no question of falling down again. Shashwat Shanti Nigachati. Eternal peace. Yes, eternal peace. Yeah, like many examples. Like we see Gajendra. He happened to fall down. He happened to forget Krishna in the body of elephant also. But when he got to this difficult situation in life, he utterly, intentionally prayed to the Lord, and Lord appeared. And Shashwat Santini Gashati. So continuously prayed. Of course, he prayed out of the pain he was getting. The crocodile has caught his leg. So we should not also take to that option. We should cultivate Krishna consciousness very naturally. Why to cultivate Krishna consciousness when we are in problem? We should cultivate Krishna consciousness without having any problem. Chant the holy name, read Srimad Bhagavatam, do Harinam Sankirtan. So very easy way of practicing and cultivating Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, Krishna may give this type of opportunities to helplessly crying to him. And then we'll come to that platform of 100% Krishna consciousness. Shashtra Shanti Nigachati. Okay, so 932. किन्हीं को कुछ बोलना है क्या?
Points are there. So preaching points are there. Devotional, like devotion cleanses our heart naturally. So if, and also there is like mentioned about the 9 process of bhakti, the Shravan, Kirtan, Smaran, Padashevan, Archana, Vandanam, Dashyam, Shakyam, Atmanivedan. And it is said that if simply one devotee engaged in the 9 process of devotional service, so gradually he cleanses all the material contamination. By keeping Krishna as in heart, he becomes naturally pure. External rituals are no longer required for the purification.
Yeah.
And for
Prashchitta is not required. Correct.
yes, bro. And personal realization is that like there is a hope for everyone. So it also indicates that no matter how fallen the condition is, that if one keep on chanting, hearing, then he become by mercy of Krishna, his heart will be cleansed away. Hare Krishna, bro, you are on mute, bro.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, bro. That was the like personal realization. Like
Oh,
no, yeah.
very nice. So the process of Krishna consciousness itself is sufficient. There is no further external prashchitta required. 932. Mami partave pashritya yepi shyuh papayoneha striyo vaishyas tatha shudraste piyantim yanti param gati. Param gati. Also, Pritha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, and Shudras can attain the supreme destination.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
It is clearly declared here by the Supreme Lord that in devotional service there is no distinction between the lower and the higher classes of people. In the material conception of life, there are such divisions, but for a person engaged in transcendental devotional service to the Lord, there are not. Everyone is eligible for the supreme destination. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 2.4.18, it is stated that even the lowest, who are called chandalas, dog eaters, can be purified by the association with a pure devotee. Therefore, devotional service and the guidance of a pure devotee are so strong that there is no discrimination between the lower and the higher class of man. Anyone can take to it. The most simple man taking shelter of the pure devotee can be purified by proper guidance. According to the different modes of material nature, men are classified in the mode of goodness, that is Brahmanas, the mode of passion, that is Kshatriyas or administrators, the mixed mode of passion and ignorance, that are Vaishyas and the merchants, or merchants we can call, and the mode of ignorance, the Sudras or the workers. Those lower than them are called the Chandalas, and they are born in sinful families. Generally, the association of those born in sinful families is not accepted by the higher classes. But the process of devotional service is so strong that the pure devotee of the Supreme Lord can enable people of all the lower classes to attain the higher perfection of the life. This is possible only when one takes shelter of Krishna, as indicated here by the word Vyaprashitya. One has to take shelter completely of Krishna. Then one can become much greater than the great Gyanis and the Yogis. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you so much, bro. Thank you so much. So, where history is repleted with such examples that how people coming from such a lower backgrounds also they become perfected souls in this very lifetime, very lifetime. So there is no consideration of birth. There is no consideration of opulence. There is no consideration of education, and there is no consideration of beauty. So these four things are inconsiderate in a school of bhakti. There is nothing required. There is no reconsidered buddhi also required. Just what is required? Vyapashritya. One has to take complete shelter of Krishna and his bona fide devotees. Then everything is perfect. Examples like the Dasyu Ratnakar. In very lifetime, he became Valmiki Muni. The Kshatriya king, Vishwamitra, he became great devotee Brahmarshi. Very lifetime. It doesn't require to change another body. And unlike this, there are many such examples. And we see now in the current history, Srila Prabhupada there. Srila Prabhupada, forget about Chandala there, what Valas, who knows? Kirat, Unandra, Pulinda, Pulakasha, Avira, Samba, Javanakasha there. Yannecha Papa Yadapashraya Shraya. Shuddhanti Tasmai Prabhavishnava Yadava. So Vishnava, Prabhavishnava, the devotees, Vaishnava are so powerful. Prabha, their power is so much that anybody has just taken shelter of their lotus feet. Finish. They would be elevating certainly in this very lifetime. Yeah, that's Srila Prabhupada saw it. Now, Srila Prabhupada's many disciples, they came from such a background. We cannot even fathom preaching to such people. Right? Even though we go to colleges to preach and we try to get those who are very pious, right? Okay, those pious people will become Krishna conscious. And those who are non-pious, okay, no problem. Leave them. Those who are in mode of ignorance and passion, leave them. But no. Pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada accepted anybody from any type of background and brought them to the highest platform of Mahabhagavatas, Paramahansas. So that's possible by Prabha Vishnave Namaha. Yeah. 933. किम पुनर्ब्रह्मणा पुण्या भक्ता रादर्शयस्तथा अनित्यम असुखम लोकम इमं प्राप्य भजस्व माम. How much more this is for so of righteous Brahmanas, the devotees and the saintly kings. Therefore, having come to this temporary miserable world, engage in my loving service unto me.
Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. In this material world, there are classifications of people, but after all, this world is not a happy place for anymore. It is clearly stated here, Anityam Asukam Lokam. This world is temporary and full of miseries, not habitable for any sane gentleman. This world is declared by Supreme Personality of Godhead to be temporary and full of miseries. Some philosophers, especially Mayavadi philosophers, say that this world is false. But we can understand from Bhagavad Gita that the world is not false. It is temporary. There is a difference between temporary and false. This world is... Just a second, Prabhu. I'll just ask it.
Okay. Yes, please. Can any other duty continue on from where Madhu brother left?
There is a difference between temporary and false. This world is temporary, but there is another world which is eternal. This world is miserable, but the other world is eternal and blissful. Arjuna was born in a saintly royal family. To him also the Lord says, take to my devotional service and come quickly back to Godhead, back home. No one should remain in this temporary world, full as it is with the miseries. Everyone should attack himself to the bosom of the Supreme Personality of Godhead so that he can be eternally happy. The devotional service of the Supreme Lord is the only process by which all problems of all classes of man can be solved. Everyone should therefore take to Krishna consciousness and make his life perfect.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. So we are at the conclusive section of today's, the Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter. And those who will understand this, they will perfect their life. So Lord is telling to Arjuna directly that you are from such a righteous Kshatriya family, saintly family, saintly king's family, right? So how much more is this so of righteous Brahmanas, the devotees, and the saintly kings? So therefore, having come to this temporary, miserable world, engage in loving service to be, not ordinary service, loving service. Vajasvamam, imam prapta, getting this body of Radarsi, Bhakta, uh, having gotten this Anityam Anasukham Lokam, imam prapta Vajasvamam. Mr. Prabhupada is telling that the devotional service of Supreme Lord is the only process by which all problems of all classes of men can be solved. Everyone should therefore take to Krishna consciousness and make his life perfect. And what is the way of doing that? It's coming in next sloka. Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishesha yuktvaivam atmanam matparayanaha. Engage your mind always in thinking of me. First thing. Engage your mind always in thinking of. Become my devotee. Thinking of me, even Kansa could do. Kansa was always thinking of the Lord, but he was not devotee of the Lord. That's why Lord is telling, become my devotee, Madhbhakto, and offer obeisances to me, Mam Namaskuru, and worship me. Worship me. Yaji. Manmanav Madhbhakto Mad Yaji. Yaji means worship me. Be completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. So this is the most confidential knowledge revealed in the 34th sloka of 9th chapter. And this is the cardinal instruction for the whole Vedas. Right? Vismartavya Satato Vishnu, Vismartavya na Jato Chit. Iti Sarva Vide. What is that sloka? Sarva Vidhi Nisedaso. Eta eva kinkaraha. Whatever is Vidhi and Nished mentioned in Vedas, everything is just servant of this principle of Manmana Madhbhaktam. Purport.
Hare Krishna. In this verse, it is clearly indicated that Krishna consciousness is the only means of being delivered from the clutches of this contaminated material world. Sometimes unscrupulous commentators destroyed the meaning of what clearly stated here, that all devotional service should be offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Unfortunately, unscrupulous commentary delivers the mind of the all readers of that which is not at all feasible. Such commentators do not know that there is no difference between Krishna's mind and Krishna. Krishna is not an ordinary human being. He is absolute truth. His body, his mind, and he himself are one and absolute. It is stated in this Kurma Purana as it is questioned by the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami in his Anubhashya comments on Chaitanya Charitamrita, 5th chapter, Adi Lila, verse 41 to 48. Deha dehi bibhedo yam neshware vedhyate Kochit. This means that there is no difference in Krishna and the Supreme Lord between himself and his body. But because the commentators do not know this science of Krishna, they hide Krishna and divide his personality from his mind or from his body. Although this is sheer ignorance of the science of Krishna, some men ask profit out of misleading people. There are some others are demonic. They are also think Krishna but enviously, just like King Kansha, Krishna's uncle. He was also thinking of Krishna always, but he thought Krishna is his enemy. He was always in anxiety, wondering when Krishna would come to kill him. This kind of thinking will not help us. One should be thinking of Krishna in devotional love, that is bhakti. One should cultivate the knowledge of Krishna conscious continuously. What is that for favorable cultivation? It is to learn from the bona fide teacher. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we have several times explained that his body is not material but is eternal, blissful knowledge. This kind of talk about Krishna will help one become a devotee. Understanding Krishna otherwise from the wrong source will prove fruitless. One should therefore engage his mind in the eternal form, the primal form of Krishna, which conviction in heart that Krishna is the supreme, he should engage himself in the worship. There are hundreds of thousands of temples in the India for the worship of Krishna. The devotional service is practiced there. When such practice is made, no one one has to offer obeisances to Krishna. One should lower his head before the deity and engage his mind, his body, and his activities, everything. That will make one fully absorbed in Krishna without deviation. This will help one transform to Krishna Loka. One should not be delivered by unscrupulous commentators. One must engage in the ninth different process of devotional service, beginning with the hearing and chanting about Krishna, pure devotional service in the highest achievement of human society. The seventh and eighth chapter of Bhagavad Gita have explained pure devotional service of the Lord that is free from speculative knowledge, mystic yoga, and fruitive activities. Those who are not purely sanctified may be attracted by different features of the Lord, like impersonal Brahma Jyoti and localized Paramatma. But a pure devotee directly takes to the service of the Supreme Lord. There is a beautiful poem about Krishna, which is clearly stated that any person who is engaged in the worship of demigods is most unintelligent and cannot achieve at any time the supreme award of Krishna. The devotee in the beginning may sometimes fall from the standards, but still he should be considered superior to all other philosophers and yogis. One who always engages in Krishna consciousness should be understood to be perfect saintly person. His accidental non-devotional activities will diminish, and he will soon be situated without any doubt in complete perfection. The devotee has no actual chances to fall down because the Supreme Godhead personally takes care of his pure devotees. Therefore, the intelligent person should take directly to the process of Krishna consciousness and happily live in the material world. He will eventually receive the supreme award of Krishna. Thus, end of the Bhakti Vedanta purport of ninth chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the matter of most confidential knowledge. Hare Krishna.
All Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, Srila Prabhupada first clears out some commentators. They say that it is not the Krishna, the person has to be surrendered, but Krishna, inside of the Krishna body. So they say that there is the body of Krishna and there is soul of Krishna. But such foolish people, they are there. They have made commentaries and Srila Prabhupada is clearing that out, quoting from Sri Bhakti Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, Anubhashya from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Deha Dehi Vibhedayam Neshware Vidyate Kvachit. Very beautiful, this reference, remember, should be remembered, and could be used in preaching services from Kurum Purana. Deha Dehi Vibhedayam Neshware Vidyate Kvachit. Yeah. So, as we're discussing, devotee need to practice bhakti, remember Krishna through bhakti, not otherwise, not pratikul wise, but anukul wise. So one should therefore engage his mind in the eternal form, the primal form Krishna, with conviction in his heart that Krishna is the supreme. He should engage himself in worship. So all the temples throughout the whole world has been created, constructed for this purpose to facilitate. Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishasi yukta atmana matparaya. So, dear devotees, so we are at the end of today's discussion. Thank you so much. and we shall begin with the next chapter next week. Anything to say? Any comment? Any clarification?
Here, Srila Prabhupada is saying like the danger of worshipping demigods. So he calls the worshippers of demigods as the most unintelligent fellows, because even if one worships the Lord, may not achieve the result at this point of time, but slowly, ultimately, he will achieve. But demigod worshippers will be in much danger.
Nice point. Demigod worshipper just lost the whole point of worshipping only. They have lost the purpose and goal of life only. So, the purpose of life is sense gratification. So they will get that. Abuddhaya, Alpabuddhaya. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Krishna.